TIFU paying electricity for downstairs neighbor for 8 years.
This happened a few months ago, but I'm just thinking about it again now. So, as me and my wife were moving out, we were going through what bills we each pay. Somehow we were both paying an electricity bill. Come to find out, I have been paying for the downstairs neighbor for the past 8 years. I'm not the kind of guy that will demand my money back, but I will happily take it if she offers. I casually mentioned it to her and she thought it was funny, but did not offer to reimburse me. She had to have known that she was supposed to get an electricity bill every month, but never bothered to call the provider to ask why she wasn't getting one. She was also a poor student for nearly the entire 8 years who lived alone with her young daughter, which makes it even harder to insist she repays me for 8 years of back payments. Also, looking at her past bills, on average she used more electricity monthly than us, family of 4 with a larger apartment. TLDR paid for downstairs lady's electricity for 8 years.
Didn't get reimbursed by her. What happened, happened. Money's long gone. Smile. Hope she got some good vacations for the money she saved.
She had to have known that she was supposed to get an electricity bill every month, but in 8 years neither you nor your wife noticed that you were both paying the electric bill?
Why did you start paying her bill to begin with? She had to have known that she was supposed to get an electricity bill every month. Just like you and your wife had to have known you weren't supposed to be paying for 2 accounts, one of them not even being yours. Also, she had to have known.
You're putting the onus on her, but you didn't pay attention to your bills either. Also, who is complaining about no having to pay a bill or not receiving one and not having service shut off? Right, no one.
If this is a real story, you need to take this up with your power company. No way a couple pays the same provider twice for 8 years. My wife and I have separate checking/saving accounts, but we are very aware of the bills paid monthly. I'm not buying this BS. Good on you for having a good attitude about it. Shit happens, just think of it as your good deed for the past 8 years. Hopefully that's somehow a good karma.
I'm in a similar situation, so I feel you. My house power is connected to the neighbor's house. $2,000 for the well and power each month, and it's pulling teeth to get them to pay anything. My choices are to move, can't afford to, or not have power.
Was your name on the bill? How do you end up paying someone else's bill?
Lol, that didn't happen.
Of course. She used more than you did. With no bill coming in. She wasn't worried about how much heat or air she was using because it didn't hurt her pockets. I heard about this happening once before. The apartment had accidentally switched the downstairs unit's bill with the upstairs apartment. Upstairs was sweating to death and paying through the nose. Downstairs laughed. That's funny. I can keep it running all day and I barely pay anything at all. Kicked up a fuss once the bills were switched. Lol. Hopefully, going forward, she doesn't continue to expect you to pay her extremely large electricity bill just because you had been before and didn't notice. So why can't you now? Quote, something similar actually happened to me. We didn't budget that into our bills for this month since you paid it last month after it got cut off. It's your bill. But I digress.
Was the error the landlord's? If so, could you try to get the money from them?
At this point you guys should have a joint account just for bills. You can keep your separate accounts, but each contribute an equal amount, or whatever you feel is acceptable, to the joint account. Have your bills deducted automatically if they can be. Would be much easier to keep up with what bills are being paid, and then you won't have to worry about who's paying what bill. Today we found out that we helped a poor student single parent and her daughter for 8 years without realizing it. That's awesome of you. That is a good attitude to have on your part. But I feel like she knew and was using you. If I found out I was 8 years worth of bills in debt to someone, I wouldn't be so casual about it. Even if they weren't demanding a repayment.
Had to have known. You can't of something.
How do you two not know you're paying a stranger's bill for 8 years? Especially since it comes in the mail with the neighbor's name on it. Communicate much? What's your address? My cable bill needs to be paid. Clearly this is a case of not having a joint bank account and not having joint costs eat out of the same account. I had a similar thing happen when I moved into my new place. The previous tenant had been paying for a neighbor's electric and gas when this unit doesn't even have a gas hookup anymore. I called the power company to get it sorted, and after a few trips from a gas tech they swapped our accounts back and the company repaid anything that we paid over what we owed. The neighbors had to pay the difference in their bill through the power company, and it didn't really affect me. While they were doing the investigation, they put us on a pay arrangement, so we didn't have to pay anything until the bills were sorted out. If you do report it to the power company, they will pay you back for the neighbor's bill and rectify the account. The neighbor can set up a pay arrangement so she can pay as much as she can toward the balance. It shouldn't hurt her any. They'll work with her budget. They just want the bill paid. The only way it would hurt her is if she decided to move out without paying off the full remainder owed to the power company. Report it and start an investigation. The next tenant may not be as kind to her. Edit to add. The tenant before me was here for 3+ years and never noticed he was paying double the price for electricity because of the gas bill. He was one person and the neighbors were two. Because of their smaller bill, they kept the temp controls set high since they didn't notice a change in their bill. They were passive-aggressive for a while after getting everything settled because they had to play catch up on the bill and change their energy usage. It's still boggling to me that they were miffed that they had to pay their own bill. Live and let live. Things are rough these days. Choose to look on this as both an exercise in being more aware in the future and also throwing a bone to someone who needs it. Indeed, the next tenant may not like having to pay their downstairs neighbor's bills, but they'll eventually have to deal with it, because you weren't going to live there on a permanent basis. If you were paying for 8 years, I assume the bill wasn't expensive to begin with. Point being, seemed like you were okay with the amount and never took action. This seems to be common with landlords converting SFHs into multi-unit. Wonder why the landlord didn't offer to pay electricity if the bill can't be split.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.